Hello and good evening. Welcome everybody to the session that we have kept from the Bennett University. A very warm welcome to the faculty members who have joined in and the students who have taken out time from their busy schedules, especially considering that your board exams are on the way. You found out some time to join us, right? So we hope we'll be able to contribute to the growth of the perspectives of by this session, and we hope we will be able to bring value to the table. And at the end of the session, I guess you'll be having some insightful takeaways. So to start with, I am Chenika Pandey, hosting the session today. And we have with us Dr. Anurag Goswami, who is the associate professor in the School of Computer Science and Technology with Bennett University. And he has done his education, the graduation, post-graduation, and the PhD from the North Dakota State University, USA. We also have with us Dr. Manish Raj, who is the associate professor, PhD, and he has done his PhD and MTech from the Departments of Robotics and Artificial Intelligence from IIT Allahabad. And we have our student, Miss Ria, who will be moderating the session today. And she's a second year student and she's doing her specialization in artificial intelligence, right? So like this session will give you an overview of computing, the specializations, the career options, right? So I won't take much of your time. I'll hand over to Ria. Ria, you can take over the session and you can start with it.
Okay,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
Before we switch on to Ria, just to correct some of the info. So I did my PhD from NDSU and undergrad and everything is from India. So MS I was there and then transferred to PhD. Manish is from I think yes Triple IT Allahabad, and
Yes.
Ria is a data science student, right? Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
Ria, let's go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Chanika ma'am. Good evening, everyone. This is Ria Paujani. I am a second year BTech CSE student, specialization in data science in Bennett University. And I'm very glad to be a part of this session. Thank you, Bennett University and the SAST. Now, let's begin. So, Dr. Anurag, we have heard a lot of multiple new tech coming in. What do you think about the status and the future of computing?
Thanks, Ria. So yeah, so this session is all about the building the future with computing. So I would try to stay on course. So we all know that how the tech has changed or advanced in past 10 years. Look at our mobile phones. They have changed very much in terms of the computing power that they have, in terms of RAM and the space they have, and the internet connectivity has led to it at a different level itself. And we heard about a lot of key terms like the buzzwords. I would say that artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity, AR, VR, gaming, drones, and to name a few, right? So industries are actually adopting to these changing tech, and they're also adopting to the changing their processes of building an effective products or softwares, or I would say that software solutions to contribute in the society or solve some problems. So they need people who can actually come on board, join them and start building those solutions right away. So who can join them is all about the people who are in school, the current undergrad students like Ria, who can advance themselves, change themselves, or learn the new skills by the changing demands of the world, because it is changing very rapidly. And I strongly believe that if the students want to build the future, they should be enabling themselves with those changing technologies, so that in the future they will be liked by the industries, or I would say that they are working on those changing tech in the future.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Dr. Manish, when we talk about the skills, what do you mean by that? Is it learning the CSE concepts or something else? Your words on this.
Manish, you're on mute, I guess. Manish, I guess you're
Yeah.
on mute.
Okay, good question. So I will go for one scenario. Yeah. So if you think about the industry needs the practical approach, the practical things. So if we will talk about the skills, we have to go with the practical things. So we go for the hands-on thing. We go for the lab and dirty our hands with the practicals. So one thing I just want to say means If you want to the industry thing, then you have to go for the practical knowledge. Okay, so as Dr. Andra said, that we are talking about the chat GPT. So if you want to think bigger than this, so then you have to means thinking. If you have to thinking out of the box. If you have the more solution other than the people's, means you have the two or three solutions for the particular problem, then you have a knowledge, or you can say you have the skills to go for the industry. So this is the means. Lastly, I just want to say means you have to go through the hands-on, and hands-on is the particular skills you have to go through with that. Then you can go for any industry or any other thing. So yes.
Thank you, sir. Very wonderful. Now, Anurag, sir, can you please tell us about in a practical approach, if you can?
Okay, so yeah, again, a good question, Via. So Manish has stressed a lot on, learning the practical hands-ons and getting your hands dirty in, for example, programming, if I have to talk about the computer science, the basics programming. So let me give a small example. So the biggest myth, first of all, I want to point out here is for the computer science is it's all about programming. It's yes, but it's a no as well, because we use those computer science programming knowledge or concepts to solve some real life problems. We build software solutions, as I said earlier, to solve those problems. For example, let's take an example of, I would say, the fast tag systems. Right. Earlier, we know that it was a complete manual system. Lots of manual intervention was there. But with the magic of computer science, if I have to talk in layman words, the fast tag system where you have an RFID on the top of your, glass of the car, and you have a sensor on the top, and it reads, and you're good to go. So the manual intervention has, lowered down, and the speed of crossing the cars has increased. And now they are planning to take one level up or stepping it up by making it completely automatic, where the car may pass the lanes at their own speed, and the scanner will scan your RFID, and the toll will be collected automatically. So think about the problem where it was there was a lot of manual intervention, and they are now planning at the end, after maybe in a couple of years, we'll see that there is no manual intervention at all. So no delays, no hassles, no irritation. I would say that as being a driver and consumer myself. So it leads to a different world and a different experience overall. And again, the creating software solutions means the systems are more accurate, more consistent. There's less prone to errors, right? So that's what students should think about, developing some real life solutions apart from the lab skills, and that's very important, but the next level is solve some real life problems.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Now, Dr. Manish, in order to build the future of computing students, we definitely need the technical skills, right? Technical skills, their hands-on experience on it. So how does academia play a vital role here? Like, how do they contribute to it?
Okay, so if I will talk about the academia, then we can go for this thing. Means academia should adopt the new technologies or new things, what is happening in the surroundings. Or academia should involve the industries. So you can see that in the Bennett we have the 14 specializations. Okay, so different specialization, whatever you want, you can go into and you can learn the things. So that is the adaptation of the new technologies in the academia. Second thing, adaptation is okay, but we need the expertise of this thing. So we are means collecting the people from all over the India, and so the people or the faculty from different places for different new technologies, they are learning, and they are providing the knowledge to the students. Second thing, we can say that is the infrastructure. If we will go for the infrastructure, we are adopting the new technology. So every time we have to update the infrastructure. We have to come up with the new sensors, new equipments, new cameras. So different type of equipments, maybe in different specializations. You can see. So infrastructure adaptation is also there. Third thing I will add, that is maybe the student club culture, means for specialization thing, for new technologies, or there should be some student clubs there, so student will learn from the students. So this culture should also be there for enhancing the skills to the student. And lastly, I can go for the startup culture. Means if the academia have the startup culture from the beginning, means student can think about the startup during the studies or during these bachelors, so they can go for the particular entrepreneurship or whatever they want to do. So these are the things when we can say that student or academia should means academia should adopt the thing for these things. So, Dr. Anurag, if you want to add something for this thing, if I
Sure,
missed some,
sure. So as Manish said that the very first point is the faculty, right? If you want to from academic perspective, the faculties has to be there who are skilled and who have the expertise, and then the infrastructure, the lab, because we are talking about the hands-on learning. But if there are no labs, like we at Bennett, we have 14 specializations, so we have multiple labs for all these specializations, different courses, so that student become future ready and student becomes industry ready, right? And student can also learn from students. Manish said that, but on top of that, I would also say that the academia should also bring on the competitive culture of, for example, hackathons. They should motivate and push students to participate in different hackathons, maybe inside the campus, maybe across the nation, maybe across the globe. There are lots of online competitions are also going on where students participate, they talk to different people, and then they realize, they realize the ecosystem of the entire tech community, that what's going on in the world. And suddenly that manifest the skills within themselves by the time slowly. And they should have an industrial exposure as well. What I meant by that is the academia should foster or nurture a culture where industrial people join in, and they talk, they express their opinions, and students should also be enabled to ask questions, should be able to connect to those industrial people. And the last thing that I'm thinking on the top of my head is the collaborations with the industries and collaborations with the, let's say, foreign universities as well, because industries are working in a very global environment and global culture nowadays. So I strongly believe that the students should be exposed to global immersion programs, maybe summer programs, maybe semester abroad programs like we do at Bennett as well. So because it opens up their horizon, it opens up their mind, they understand that how people work globally, what's the diversity, what's the culture of working. And when you come back to your country back, and you join industries, it becomes very easy for you to adapt to the industrial culture and the mindset, because you already seen that, you're already used to of those kind of things. So I strongly believe on that as well.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very wonderful insight on it. Now, what I understood so far is that in order to become a leader and to build the future with computing, students should be working on their key CSE skills, and the academia should foster that in the form of providing the correct environment, the right thing for them. So, any additional thoughts on this, Manish, sir?
Manish, you're on mute, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah, thank you. So I just want to add means not only the claiming the things, not only just grasp the concept of the things, you have to go with the projects. Means if you have them, if you are doing some projects, if you're developing some product, you will learn about everything. Means concept, what is the problems with that, how to what is the solution for particular thing. So the project based learning, or you can say that is the product based learning should be there. So, you also means in the Bennett University, you have already seen, Ria, that from the first year, from the beginning of the semester, we have started with the projects. So you have done some projects in the Python, after that Java, and you have some specialized project after that. So in every subjects, you can say, or every semester, you have done lots of the projects. So that enhance the skills in or inbuild the skills in you. So whenever you are going to the industry, you have the flavor of that thing. Means if they are providing the many projects in some given lines, so you have the adaptability to do these things. So basically, my idea for this thing, that is the project based learning and product based learning should be there, and you have to skill up with do this thing throughout the your bachelor thing or throughout your years. Yeah, so that is my
Right,
point.
right. So yes, I absolutely agree on that, Manish, and Ria should have also got some insight because at the end, what industries look at is what you have done through your computer science courses, what projects you have made, because at the end, you will land up in the industry if you want to build the future with the computing and you have to build the solutions. So what solutions you have built in your academy, and that's very important. And by the time what happens, the culture that we have, what Manish said, that building the project from the very first semester or products from, we call it as products now, from the very first semester. Because by the time, you jump into your first semester, you build something, you get a feedback from the faculty, you get feedback from different peoples across. And for example, we have project showcase, so you get feedback from the industrial people as well, where they join and they give you live feedback while standing. Sometimes student get a feedback that your idea is pretty good and you can set up your own startup if you add a couple of more functionalities or a couple of more things, right? So by the time the student improves as they move on to their undergrad journey, for example, in this case BTech computer science, and when they look back at their very first very seventh or eighth semester, they have grown up professionally, or they are kind of industry ready and getting ready to build some fantastic solutions or contribute to the society as well.
Thank you so much. Now, as a student, this was very insightful for us and for the other attendees who are also attending it. Now, being a leader to solve these problems through CSC, what is that one skill that you both think is essential in every student? It's like needed.
Okay, I would say communication is the key skill.
Obviously, I will also suggest that that is a communication skill.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
so I
please.
just want to add this part means if your communication is good. So I am taking one again the one example of the industry means if you are in one industry and the people of that industry is around the world. Okay, so if your communication skill is good, so you can means clearly or precisely you can give the information whatever the project is there. So unambiguously you can do the projects. Other thing I can take one example, easier example of students means uh, if you are going for the interview and you have the good knowledge of and concepts and you are unable to provide these things to the interviewer means you will fail. So this is the thing means if you are not propagate your ideas to to the person who want to get this thing. So this is the thing means communication skill should be means the one skills you have to go through with this thing. Otherwise, what will happen? Even though you have the good concept of good thing, but you will fail in particular manner. So, if you want to add, Dr. Anurag, on this, so that will be
Yeah. So as I said, communication is very important, and I stress that a lot on my students as well because they rely on effective communication. What I mean by they is the industries, right? So what you speak, what you write, it should make the same sense to everybody, as you said, Manish, that it should be precise, it should be consistent, it should be free from any ambiguity. And I always stress on that. For example, if I'm saying ABC, all the persons who are there, let's say in a meeting, should understand it as ABC. And natural language is very tricky. And I gave an example to my students as well. For example, if my client is saying that as an industrial person, he's saying that, for example, the ATM has to be built in two languages. Which two languages, right? It may be English Hindi, it may be English and German. And if I develop in English and German, because that's an ambiguous, it can take out different meanings out of it, and the clients refuse it because they were expecting English and Hindi, but we developed in English and German, and the entire software solution is rejected by the customer. So that's a big disaster. That's a big blow to the industry. So right, so the effective communication, the clarity has to be there. So I would say that the students should start focusing on it a lot, right? And they should think about how they can, be an effective communicator. Um, Focus on the presentation techniques, one of the key skills of the communication as well, because I believe that when you start presenting from your, let's say, first semester, when you join your undergrad, or maybe in the schools itself, and presentation is also a very tricky area where I have seen students, they improve a lot by the time. So notice how you have to address your audience, prepare a sound presentation. Sometimes when you're brainstorming in the team, create a leaderboard, use a board, scribble down things. so that you can write down what's going on in your mind so that you can explain your things better to your team members. So I would suggest communication is one of the key skills, because you may be good, but how you express that you are good. It's all about the communication. It's all about how you know, let them know that you're good.
That makes sense. Thank you so much about that. So, what now I understand is that if we want to build the solutions to the future via computing, so we need to have both technical and non-technical skills.
Exactly.
So students should be aware of something else, anything else about it?
Yes, yes. Apart from the communication, and it's kind of interrelated with communication, I would say teamwork, right? So I always say my students that if you're like love working alone, then wake up and start working with teams, because um industries work in teams, very small teams. Look at the big giants like Facebook, Microsoft, Google. Different members, team members are working on in different teams. For example, let's assume that Microsoft may be building Windows 12 right now. Windows 11 is already out there. They're working on Windows 12. So they're working in teams. People are communicating. They're asking for a problem. They're asking for solutions. They're asking problems to their team members. So if you are not comfortable in working with different team members and different people, you don't understand the team dynamics. You don't understand the importance of communication. And so that means you're not able to express yourself, as I said earlier. So you may not be liked by the industry, I would say that, or you may not be accepted for a job, right, at the end. So understand the team dynamics, understand the importance of communication, because all the team members are working for the common goal of the industry, that is to build a high quality software solution, I would say that. So it takes time. So that's why I suggest everybody to step in, start working from the as soon as you can, because earlier, during your earlier days, there may be anxieties, there may be butterflies in your stomach, what people say that, but by the time your mind gets trained and it goes away, and you realize that how better a person and a professional you become. Talk about tech with your peers, right? We talk about different things. For example, I just shared, Manish talked about Chat GPT, and those who don't know, they can go ahead on internet and search about that. What is Chat GPT? But Microsoft has announced to invest, a couple of weeks ago, $10 million, because I saw that, I read that, I shared with my student, and now all my students know about it. That's the magic of communication, right? That's the magic of, so be with your friends, be with different people, talk about the tech, talk about different perspectives of life, and by the time you will realize that you have started expressing yourself way more precise, way more correctly, in a way more very simplistic fashion. That's my take on that.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, this leads to very big thing like communication and now industry go hand in hand. So, how does industry collaboration in academia helps us to develop better? Your take on this, Manish, sir?
Yeah, obviously, if we will collaborate with the industry, that will help to the student to create the environment of the industry in the academia also. So, as you know, we have the 14 specializations. So, in every specialization, we have collaborated with the industry. So sometimes a student got the internship in the industries. Sometimes some expertise came to the institution and take the lectures for that. So different aspects is there. So we can say, and also we have the industry driven courses there, and when we are trying to make our syllabus or courses, we call the expertise for making this for creating the courses for that. So you can say the industry driven courses should be there, and the industry certification, second thing. So in every course we aspects for the industry certification, so people or students are already ready for the industry in the academia, in the third year or the fourth year, they are ready for going for the industry. So so all of the hands-on, you can say, they know what is going on in the industries. So the people came here, and also you can say, so these are the, so we also provide the internship. One question I can see, do you provide the internship to the student? Yes. From which year do the internship start? So we can say from the first year. We can't wait, means institution or the university has from the third year, but we can't stop the student, means they can go for they can go for the internship from the first year also. So this is the answer. So industry collaboration is needed for the academia. So they get the flavor of the industry in beginning of the life, or you can see in the bachelor life. So they can involve everything of the industry during the studies of the bachelors. So this is my point. So industry collaboration is needed for the academia.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So let's say that I'm a student who's paying attention to all these aspects to a good extent, and I'm trying my best. So do you think I am ready for building the future by getting into the industry?
Yeah, obviously you can say means concept, technologies, these are the keywords, and you have to good in this part. But also you have to reflect your means personality, or you can say whatever in which part you are good, you have to reflect that part. So you have to create your portfolio like this. Mean you have to highlight the good thing in your CV or the resume. You can say you have to make the LinkedIn profile, so you can highlight the thing in the LinkedIn profile. Every time you have done some certification, you have to put there. If you had some internship, you have to put there. So worldwide, you can reflect yourself as a good means particular industry ready thing. So this is my thing means you have to means develop the thing where you have to go highlight the thing for you can say means whatever you're doing, you have to highlight. You have to go through with the worldwide. So any person from the industry, they are interested in your means whatever you're good in that part, they can hire you, or you can say you can easily communicate the things by your profile. So these are the points. With the study, you have to do this part also.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, sir. Thank you. So that was a very good insight. Now, Dr. Anurag, anything else a student can keep in mind to increase the chances of becoming a part of this industry and maybe become the future leaders?
Okay, yeah. So what Manish said that I completely agree on that. That students should start building their profile or the portfolio or CV or the online presence. It's very important because you may be good. You may be good in the coding world. Or you may be good in the computing world. You are ready to build the solutions for the future. But how an industry person who is, who is a, you are applying for jobs, how they know about that you are good. So it's all about your effective, again, the writing, the communication part, that how you create your profile, CVs and LinkedIn profile, because it really helps to get you selected. Let me give you an example that I gave Ria and her batch in the recent times. Let's say there are two people, Ria and Manish. Ria is good. Ria is excellent. Manish is a kind of at the second number, right? So I know that as a faculty that Ria is good, Manish is at the second number. But when they both apply for job, so industry people, they dive into your online presence if they like your CV, first of all. So they dive into your LinkedIn profile, and if I see that personally, Ria is good. Again, just to stress upon the fact, but she doesn't have her online presence a lot. She doesn't have her achievements listed on LinkedIn profile. Whereas Manish has everything listed. He's also talking about the things that he's learning by the time. For example, day one, I'm learning this. This is my day two. Any accomplishment I have got to this Amazon industrial or AWS industrial professional certification, and now I have. So as an industrial person or as a recruiter, I can see that Manish profile is very impressive. But the fact is that Ria is better, but her online presence is not there, right? So just to let you know the importance of what Manish has said, and make sure you reflect the flexibility in your profile. Don't stick to just, let's say, oh, I only know Python and I would only work on Python. You have to show the flexibility, and having that industrial collaboration and certification that simply reflects about your personality, that you are serious about your career. When there was a need, you upskilled yourself, and when there will be need in the future, you will definitely going to upskill yourself, right? And on top of that, what Ria has asked about any additional insight is that make sure you network with the people. So communication also leads to networking, because research has proven that or shown that 80% of the jobs are somehow the outcome of networking. So for example, when there are CEOs or the industrial people at Bennett, they come and they talk with the students, they share insights. Students also get a chance to one-to-one interaction. So I always suggest students to just go and talk to the industrial people, let them know what your interests are, because once you're connected to their profile, I'm giving an example. So for example, I'm the CEO and Ria has spoken to me in an event. We both are connected on LinkedIn world. Ria is continuously active. She's building her online profile and presence. So it gets reflected on my home feed as well, sometimes, right? Based on the algorithm. So one day, Ria has put in a headline that, okay, in search of a job in, let's say, artificial intelligence or data science domain. So I know that she's good because I can see her profile. I dig her profile once again. I see that she's a good match. So I would call her for the interview right away. Or if I don't have any openings, I know that it's a very small world. So I would call my other CEO friends that you need an intern. There's a girl who is good. I suggest that you call her for the interview. So that's the magic of networking that happens, right? The opportunities don't come to your way automatically. You have to plan, you have to be aware of how this entire, the corporate world and the industrial world and the new computing world works actually. So I would suggest stress upon that a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, this makes me think that consistency is a big key to this. Like, you need to be consistent with your developing your skills, updating your profile about it. So, Dr. Manish, what do you think? How much consistency or regularity is needed to get future ready for such things?
Obviously, regularity and consistency is needed for everything. Means if you will enhance the skill, then regular and the consistency should be there. Otherwise, last time working or last time thing will not work to develop the skills. So I can take one example for that. Means I have given to some assignment to you for 7 days, and you started that assignment at the last day or the sixth day. So if you get the failure, then you have nothing. You have no time to means recover that part. But if you are consistent, you have started your work from the day one and you're going through it. If you get the failure in between of that, then you can you have the time to recover that part. This is the one example, but again, I am saying means regularity will provide you to enhance the skills again. Okay, because for learning the things, and if you want to learning means add up the things on that skill. So means if you are regular, so again I just want to add means high numbers is not the things. Means you are studying for one night or 2 nights and you're getting good marks, that will not help in the industry. Means every day you will get the scenario. Means new type of language you have to learn, new type of things you have to do in the industry too. You have to adaptable of these things. You have to develop yourself like that. You can go through with that with a regular or consistent way. So the consistency and regularity is needed for everything. This is the my aspects. So
So
if you want, yeah,
yeah,
add
let me
Anurag sir.
one more thing here, Manish. In a very simplistic fashion, is that it takes time to build the skills, right?
Yeah,
So that's what has given an example that you have to be, very active by the time. And industries also, they track your, performance, they track your everyday activity, how you're performing. So you should develop good habits. The students should develop good habits. And I told Ria as well, Ria and her entire batch as well, the students whom I teach, right? So it's very much necessary to build those skills. Let me give you a small example. You spend time with people to become friends, then you call them as friends, right? Same goes with skill. You have to spend time with the tech world. You have to spend time, you have to give some small chunks, maybe sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes 1 hours, maybe on YouTube. Just learn about the tech, learn about maybe programming that you don't know, Python, Java, C++. That will slowly build some good habits, and that will slowly enable you to develop the future for the industries or for the society.
Thank you so much. That was very wonderful. Now, I've heard a lot of times that the leaders do find time for themselves, like not just the work. They also need some refreshment times. So, how do you see this? And those students should also think in that direction. What do you suggest about it?
Yes, it's absolutely necessary for the students as well, because it's not only about work. I would say study. or just the tech world, make sure you are experiencing the other aspects of your life. For example, if you sit for longer hours, a lot of time we sit for that and we think that we are more effective. But again, the studies show that there is a fatigue effect that kicks in, and you are not that much productive when you sit for longer hours. So take small breaks, right? That's a good or smart work, I would say, the keyword. Follow the habits of good habits, good smart work habits. Take breaks, it refreshes your mind, right? And you become more productive at the end. Have fun, meet with people, participate. For example, at Bennett, we have, like Manish said, we have multiple clubs and chapters in computer science in Bennett as well. For example, if I'm a person who is interested in music, I can join the music club. If I'm interested in photography, I can join the photography club. And similarly, if I'm more into, again, the tech world, I can join different tech clubs as well. So indirect one is it refreshes your mind. You participate in different events, but you also manifest, again, I'm using that word, or develop the leadership qualities. For example, Ria and her team, they have just concluded with one big event. I remember that this last weekend itself, she was leading one of the group. So you understand by the time that how much time, planning, and patience it requires for the team to pull up an event. And when you complete an event successfully, you get a sense of accomplishment. You get a sense of the teamwork. You get a sense of how much important it is to plan and manage, and teamwork is required behind that. So have fun, meet with people, and again, divide your time across the different aspects of life, right? Yeah. So
True.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Manish, any thoughts on this? You want to add something?
Most of the topics have been covered with Dr. Anurag. So I just want to add means whatever the passion you have, so you can follow that part. Means apart for the study or the for work and work and work, so you can go for any. As Dr. Anurag say, you can join any club, student club, means photography, dancing, anything, musical club. So that means that recreation means. Give you a pump to do the work well again. So that will enhance your productivity again. So this is my thought. So you have to join one thing, two things, three things, whatever you want. So you have to go through with this part, obviously.
Thank you so much. This was very wonderful to know. Now, one last question from my side. It is, does international exposure matter in terms of summer programs, semester abroad, MS, MTech, whatever, etc.? So it
Mhm.
doesn't really matters.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Ria. And I'm completely, I'm kind of the byproduct of international collaborations. As people would have noticed that I've completed my PhD from NDSU, United States. So I have the flavor of both United States and India as well in terms of education. So let me connect with the industries. So industries, as I said, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, everybody has offices across the globe, right? So in academia, when you have an international collaborations in terms of small scale summer programs, maybe semester abroad programs, students should definitely participate in that because they understand the diversity, they understand how people work at different places, what's their nuances, and it opens up your horizon of thought process, your mindset. So when you join industry, you already have an awareness of how people work, right? And sometimes, let's say I'm a very motivated towards my pursuing my higher studies, so I can directly go for a semester abroad program, and I can join a kind of accelerated master's program, and I can get an MS from a institute where we have a tie-up, right? So there's a direct pipeline for the student to participate in international programs as well, right? And that's very much important. So that's why I'm also, the chair of those international programs for the computer science to push as many as collaborations in terms of where students can utilize. I would say that students should exploit these opportunities, multiple, as many as they can. That really helps them in their future. I believe in that.
Thank you so much. Manish, sir, do you want to have any additional thoughts on this?
Actually, Dr. Anurag is the kind of that person means that is
Sure,
the
sure,
that
no problem. Yeah, yeah,
leading
yeah.
part, most of the part has been covered. Okay, so that's the information from my means
Okay.
my
Thank
you can say.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, that was very amazing. Thank you very much for both of your insights, Overall, this made me realize the modern computing world is definitely changing rapidly, and we are moving towards a very futuristic tech. Also, industries are coming up with many new additions, very competing different solutions, and they need people to work. And I believe that we students or the upcoming generation, we are already ready to contribute to that. Now, academia like BU has already played a vital role in terms of faculty, infrastructure, the curriculum, and events like hackathons, projects, challenges, showcases. This made me realize that we have already have an understanding on how to become future ready and how we are ready with the industries as well the global exposure. We will utilize the opportunities and through collaborations with the industries and all. And yes, we also realize how technical, non-technical skills are definitely important. Overall, how the development of a person leads to a good person in the industry, and therefore you can become the future king of it, let's say. So thank you so much to all the faculty members, both of you. And I hope everyone has got good insights on how we can develop ourselves as the future of computing. Thank you very much. And now we're ready for the question and answer round. Thank you so much.
Okay, I guess over to Shanika.
Yeah.
You're on mute, Shanika.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Ria. Thank you so much, faculties. So we have very good questions coming up from the parents and the students.
Sure.
I guess we can take up the questions now. First question is, any good examples for successful startup building during last years with Bennett?
Yes, there are. So there are students who were, initially I saw them raw. They had some ideas, but with the Bennett Hatchery, we call it as Bennett Hatchery, the entrepreneurship cell that we have here in the A block. So they have spoken to them, nurtured their ideas, and I know that there is a student, Sankarsh, from the very first batch. He is the CEO of Sawat, and he's a big guy now. There was a guy, Tunap, who has now a company known as Travel Say. I know a couple of students like Mohit, who was working in the blockchain tech as well. And I'm forgetting one more begin. His name is Sanyam. He is also a blockchain guy, and he's also have his own startup, started with his brother as well. Yeah, so there are lots, but there are many startups that are running. But if I have to highlight a couple of those, so these are the ones of my students that I know. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So the next question coming up is, you talked about project-based learning. Are these projects initiated by faculty or students needs to initiate by themselves?
Yeah.
So
So for that,
Manish, you're taking that? Okay, go for it.
I can say that is a both of the things. Means if the faculty have the projects, means like I have one project that developing the humanoid robot. So I can provide the internship to the students for that purpose, or I can provide the projects to the students for that purposes. And you can say students also take the projects. They come up with the ideas to the faculty, and they need some equipments and other things. So we provide these type of facilities. They can one thing I can remember this, a student can take the equipments till the 5,000 rupees. One student till the 5,000 rupees can take the equipment from spaces if they need it for this. So these are the both of things. Means is faculty driven projects also there, student driven projects also there, or if some industry also involved there, so some industry driven projects also there. So both kind of things are there.
Right. So I would like to add on this what Manish has said, that so the BTech, for example, CSC or the computer science, BCA, it spans across multiple semesters, right? So from the very beginning, the students are given the projects, but we motivate them to choose themselves, because again, they start thinking, they start looking for the identifying problems and coming up with the possible solutions. And sometimes we have the consultancy projects from the industry where students want to participate in that. Sometimes we have ongoing research projects where students who want to know the research side as well, they join with the faculty members. Sometimes faculty have their own processes, own projects, where again, the students who are willing to join, they join. So it's a mixed bag of both the aspects, but it again spans across multiple semesters. So we are open to ideas from students as well. We have our own ideas, but it's not like completely spoon feeding kind of thing, I would say.
Thank you, sir. So we have our next question, which is where do we place BTech CSC, Bennett University? Like a comparison with IIT, Triple IT, DTU, VIT, MIT, Chandigarh University presently, and after 4 years. And
Okay.
also, is there a support provided by Bennett University or tie-up for MS if a student wishes to pursue MS in foreign universities in USA or any
Mhm.
other country?
Okay, that's a good question. I can answer that. Right. So let's
For the yeah
for the
for
first
the
part,
first
you're going, Manish.
yeah.
Okay, go for
So
it.
for the first question, we can tell you about the Bennett University. We are not
Mm.
comparing the things with the IITs, with the triple IITs. This is
Yeah.
your aspects actually. We can show what we can do for your work or what we are doing here. Okay, all the these things. If the comparison is there, we will say we are the topper. We are the toppest. Okay, but if you will go for these universities, so this is your choice. Means we can tell you we have these things and you can compare these things with the other university either they have or no not have, so this is your choice. So this is my answer.
Yeah. So what Manish is saying that we don't compare, right? So it's a compare again. It's a subjective thing. Let's say a parent is looking at different aspect. A student is looking at different aspect. For some, Bennett is good. For some, maybe if I the other mentioned institutes are better. Maybe based on different choices, different criteria. And but we try to give the best. For example, we have, as I said, or Manish has said, that we stress a lot on project-based learning. So we have NVIDIA DGX V100 supercomputer, very first in any private institution in India, right? And students have, they can, if they want to work on an artificial intelligence based problem that requires a lot of computing power, they get access right away from the very first day if they have a problem. So we don't restrict student anything, because I personally push my students that make sure you speak up your ideas, because you never know, your idea may be game changing for the entire world. Right. Talking about the second thing, for the MS program, yes, there are a couple of universities with whom we have collaborated with. Right. So once you join in, for example, there is a semester abroad program where you can join a university in 7th semester, take up their master's program as well. And then if you join their master's, those couple of courses that you took or couple of subjects that you took in that home university, that will be transferred toward master. So that becomes a kind of accelerated masters. Plus, and again, different universities have different criteria for scores for the admissions requirement. So Bennett, we have a pipeline for that. So once people are here, they get informed about what is going on right now. And what else? How easy to get the admission and the acceptability of a student from Bennett University? Okay, again, there are criteria. For example, some checklist is there for admissions for any university. For example, your CGPA has to be 7.5 or 8 or greater. So that means that check box is checked, right? You should be from computer science, checked, and like that. So when those check boxes are checked, you're good to go. Nobody's stopping you, and nobody can stop you from taking admission. I can guarantee that, right?
Okay. Thank you, sir. So the next question here is artificial intelligence is making the software companies to lay off their employees. How do you think it will affect the future of this area? Also, the companies like Google has also started to invest more and more in AI. What's your take on this?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. If it's coming from a student, Arnav, I can see the name. Good question, boy. What I say that that happened every time when a revolution comes in, right? For example, we registered computers earlier, right? It was eating up all the manual work of the humans. That happened in the past as well. So if you are, for example, the revolution is happening if you are pointing about artificial intelligence, that means that the style of working is changing with the help of tech, but then there, as I said in the very first question asked by the RIA, the tech is changing very rapidly, and industries need people who can work on those technologies, who can build those kind of solutions, who can maintain those kind of systems. So when there is a new thing comes up, that brings up the new opportunities, and we have to move, we have to change with the times. Otherwise, you know, the pen and paper days are gone. If you think about the studies as well, so make sure you know, people have to train themselves. The academia, as we mentioned earlier, Manish has also mentioned, if I remember, the curriculum, we keep on changing our curriculum to match the industrial needs. So if the students are learning by the time with the AI, for example, the point that you mentioned, you're good to go. Nobody's stopping you to be in the industries. Right? I hope that makes sense.
Okay, thank you, sir. So the next question coming up is, please give a briefing on full stack specialization.
Okay, so if I talk about the specialization, Manish, you would like to take that first?
Means I can give you the curriculum thing. Means here particular, I will not take the full.
Okay, before you start, let me add one common point. So a lot of people think that the specialization in Bennett is like you lose the core computer science flavor or the nuance. It's not like that. So we have a set of core computer science courses, and on the top of that, you have a couple of courses of different specializations, right?
So just I just want to add that part means we have the two core subjects for the specialization and three electives for the specialization. Otherwise, other subjects, whatever you will study, that will be the core computer science. So this is the main scenario of the curriculum of the, or you can go to the website and you can find the curriculum of the Bennett University and BTech or BC or whatever you want to take. So go and just go through the syllabuses and other things. You can
So
find the.
I spun the syllabus. The curriculum is available on the Bennett University website in the Computer Science School of Computer Science page. But just to let you know what Manish has said, full stack. If you want to know about what is full stack specializations, because I again the natural language is very ambiguous. So if you have that kind of question in mind, so when you build an application, you build a UI that user uses. You have a business logic that goes behind the scenes. You have a database that is storing your data. So different technologies, they come together to build an application that is known as full stack development, right? Yeah. Any other next question, please?
Yes, sir. We
Yeah.
have a question. I guess everyone would like to listen to this answer. A student wants to know why Bennett University. Why should I study in Bennett University?
Okay, again, I would like to take that first before Manish answers anything, or before Ria also steps in and into that. I would like to take her call as well. So again, it is very subjective, I would say that. But if you want to lead the world, or if you want to have some couple of pointers from my side, I would say first is the faculty, second is the curriculum, third is the international exposure opportunities, the collaborations with the industries, right? So I can think of these opportunities, and again, the hands-on and the experiential learning environment in the ecosystem and the infrastructure. So if you summarize the entire discussion, I can pull up those points from that discussion itself. Manish, any other additions you want to make?
I will just add the culture of the Bennett University. That is totally open. You can meet the, or mentorship is there, means every student will get the mentors. So if you have any type of problem, you can go to the mentors, means academic or personal problem also. So you can meet. So this type of environment is there. So you can you can means go through with the other institutions and you can find the means comparison. So I would suggest this thing, means that's why these are the key
Yeah,
points from our
yeah.
side.
Compare yourself and find out the best for you. Everybody has a definition of best different. So if you find Bennett as the best, go for it. If you find something else best, go for it. Right, Ria? Any your take on this? I would like to hear your point. Why you have joined Bennett?
Honestly, you
Or what's
both have
happening?
covered the points on this, and definitely it is subjective. I'll say it's based on your personal choice. What do you find better? I chose Bennett because I could find my opportunities here. That's why it's based on where do you find yourself getting better? Where do you think, yes, here I feel like my opportunities would
Right.
be better. Like my skills won't go waste here. So I'll say choose a place where you find better. And for me, Bennett was the thing because honestly, from Bennett and first year itself, you can get multiple opportunities, definitely. So it is very subjective. And to all
Yeah.
the attendees, your take on this.
Yes, so I would say that we have a ecosystem that tries to foster the skill sets of the student, and again, the objective is to make them future ready or the industry ready, making them ready for the future. Push the skills, break your comfort zone, think about the teamwork, think about different skills, and then by the time become with all those different dimensions that act here at Bennett, you become a completely skilled professional, which is loved or wanted by the industry or liked by the industries. Right. Okay. Next question, please.
Yes, we have a question here. What does specialization means in Bennett? Say specialization in artificial intelligence. What more it adds to the degree, and how is it different from a regular computer science degree?
Okay, I think I just answered that a couple of minutes ago. For example, Arnav, you are taking artificial intelligence specialization. So that means apart from core computer science courses, you will take a couple of more courses that is based on specifically artificial intelligence. So that means you get more exposure to the artificial intelligence domain as compared to other students who are taking some other specialization maybe. But if you want to choose a core computer science, no specialization, that is also a possibility here. Manish, anything else?
Yeah, I think the questions like that, Arnav is thinking about that means specialization means AI only. That is not AI. We have the 14 specialization.
14,
So
one
that
core.
is,
Yeah.
so that is data science, RIA from data science. That is cyber security, blockchain, AR, VR. That is gaming, IoT, robotics, and other more PDT, product design development. So there are 14 specialization. You can go through the very website and you can see that part. Means we are running these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is the means of Arnav.
Okay, let's take one more question. I think at the end we have a couple of more minutes left.
Yeah, sure. It is, does age matters for international exchange program and international internship? Say if you are not 18 till your second year, so will you
Mhm.
be allowed to go abroad if you get selected?
So, okay, good question once again, and I can understand the dilemma, Arnav, here once again. The question is
Yes.
from Arnav. So, age factor, I cannot see any barrier. For example, you are in first year right now, and you saw in summer immersion program opportunity, let's say of 3 to 4 weeks, or you want to visit, let's say, University of Vancouver in the Canada, University of British Columbia in the Vancouver campus. My bad. So if you get selected, you're good to go. A lot of our first year students who are hopping into second year, or maybe second year who are hopping into third year, the opportunities are open for them. So no problem there.
So can we
And
take one last question?
sure, and before you take that, just make sure
Yes.
Arnav and all the participants go and talk to clarify your questions wherever you are, maybe at Bennett, maybe somewhere else. For example, Arnav has a lot of questions about international programs. Go at the international office, ask about your queries, right? If you have any small questions, we are open to answer the questions and help you out. Yes, go for it. Let's go for the last one.
It is majority of kids choose BTech in CS, which creates a lot of competition. So how does one cope with that?
Okay, so a lot of people are choosing computer science because there are lots of opportunities in the industries. The fact is that, right? There are lots of computer science jobs out there and lots of specialized jobs. If I connect with my rapid changing world and rapid changing tech, industries need people. So it creates a competition. I can see where the question is coming from, the Manan. But again, as I said, if you are skilled, it's not only about scores, you're good to go. Nobody can stop you. You may land up at Google, you may land up at Microsoft, you may land up in some other company, but definitely something is there for you based on your skill sets. Yeah, I think we are good to go, Chanika. And
Yes.
I heard that the JEE scores are out or something like that.
Yes. This day scores out the February
So
session.
all the best to all the participants. I believe there are school kids here, and make sure you choose the correct institution. Again, look for the pros and cons and select the best one.
So we'd like to wind up the session. Thank you, faculties. Thank you, experts. Thank you, Ria, for joining us. And special thanks to the students because their board exams are coming up and they are here. They are listening to us. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And to the 12 students, all the best for your exams. Do well.
All the best. Thank you
Yes,
very
all the
much.
best. Thank you
Great
so
evening.
much. Thank
Great week
you.
ahead.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you to
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.